Hello, everyone. How is it going? Welcome to IPW Underground. I'm Mr. 33, your host with the most, bringing you tonight some epic matchups here on the show. And I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I've just looked at a new DLC that came out, and I am refusing to buy it. In terms of the Brock Lesnar farewell tour pack, is the name of it. It's like, why are you releasing DLC that isn't in the season pass? And then you remember it's 2K and they are money hungry whores. But yes, that's a great way to start the stream. But tonight, 3 matches on the card for you. It's gonna be fun. It's been a while since I've done a actual broadcast, as you can see my monitor on screen for the first time. Yes, but yeah, also got a nice new Kings jersey there. What you also don't see is I also have the massive Gardevoir plush there. So there's that. I've got a dog on my lap, so that's even more fun. And there's a couple behind me as well. Yes, my movement's gonna be a little limited. But yeah, enough about me. It's matchup 1 time. And it's gonna be a doozy. So strap on in, let's get into tonight's action. Or today's action, I guess you could say. This afternoon's action. That's probably the better one. And we're starting off with no fear as we proceed forward with no caution. Penta out to the ring to kick off tonight. What a man, what a choice by Ludwig Kaiser to start off tonight's show.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Ecatepec, Mexico, weighing in at 87 kilos, Penta!
1-0 in the underground. Penta looking to maintain that form, go 2-0 and potentially go towards the top standings here. There's only a couple of men that sit above him in terms of ranking if he is able to secure this victory here tonight. In fact, he'd be one of few men that have made it to 2 wins. I'm looking at a record. There's only 2 other men that are there. Grayson Waller, Karrion Kross, and then obviously the current top man of the underground, Kurt Angle.
And his opponent from the Gulf of America, weighing in at 202 pounds, El Grande Americano!
You know, it's hard to believe that this man is making his underground debut. My oh my, what a man this is as well. El Grande El Americano has performed here in IPW before. He secured a victory in his debut on Breakdown. Tonight, he's going to be put to the test, going up against a very difficult opponent. Both men evenly matched in my opinion. Both looking for the dub. Records are on the line. Let's get underway. Penta missing on the early attack. And these two, I'd say, rising stars here in IPW. Both competing, I believe, on Breakdown. So a potential matchup could happen. Remember, this is submission rules. So the standard of wrestling, more towards wearing down the opponent. As we're seeing already here with the waistlock applied onto El Grande Americano. Penta, mat slam, takes down El Grande, and two mass wrestlers here putting on a bit of a good show here. Penta obviously has some submission offense in his kit, more specifically limb targeting maneuvers like that. Well, that's a super kick, firstly. That's a head targeting maneuver, but I was going to say to sacrifice that arm targeting breaking maneuver. And, well, Penta's not really focused on that. He is kind of focused on breaking the jaw of El Grande Americano as three super kicks from different angles have connected. Make it a third. That's more of a thrust kick to the temple. I think Penta's literally just trying to bust him open, because this is some significant head damage being done here by Penta. El Grande has been mitigated here. Forced to take some heavy punishment, and it was only a matter of time before he is busted open, and, well, the turnbuckle gonna cause that effect here. Penta wearing down El Grande, and do you know what? Something that I'm really just noticing in that front row is Penta trying to go up top, caught with a super kick of El Grande's own. Springboard moonsault flattens Penta as he tried to get back to his feet. And now El Grande Americano trying to get a bit dirty, pulling off that turnbuckle. Goes to the outside as the panoramic camera brings us around. A spike DDT onto the apron. And something that I wanted to point out while I was here, this guy's shirt, very Mega Evolution-esque. Certainly fitting of Legend ZA coming out. But back to the action. El Grande seized control. Monkey flip out the corner. Vamonos. There's two Mexican legends doing battle here. Penta has had the upper advantage since the early stages of the match, but El Grande is battling his way back into this. Big shots landing. Dragon suplex out from El Grande. Penta is starting to succumb to some explosive offense as this. The ankle's picked. Takes him down. This is smart work here by El Grande. Pulling at the leg stumps. Targeting that leg as it does set up nicely for an ankle lock. That's a big 450 senton. My word. Connection at the highest level. Add in the headbutt. And that is gonna cause some damage. That steel-plated head gonna work over us now. Stretch muffler applied. El Grande working over Penta. First submission attempt of this match. There's a big lariat. Trying to dissect Penta. It's now its turn of Penta. Mexican Destroyer. Connecting. The glove's gone. Yeeted out the ring. Grande gonna stop whatever Penta had planned. Strikes back with some big shots. Not how I expected this match to turn into. Big head scissor takedown. As the Mexican traditional lucha libre being applied, but this is more American wrestling. Ankle lock applied in deep. Penta Willie tap. The answer's yes. El Grande locks in that ankle lock and gets the tap out. This matchup started off thick and fast. A symphony of super kicks from Penta. But this, arguably the turning point. That spike DDT on the apron gave El Grande the opportunity to just shoot for the stars. And, well, he went flying here. Beautifully executed. And then followed up with a flight from the other side. The headbutt connects. From that moment on, apart from this Mexican destroyer, El Grande was in control. That one final tear, torque of the ankle.
Here's your winner, El Grande Americano.
Gave El Grande El Americano his victory here in the Underground. What a beautiful performance by him as well. You get to now look at my ugly mug for a bit as I just type in the record of El Grande and update Pentas. Penta falls to 1-1. El Grande 1-0 here in the Underground. Not something that I would have thought. I would have honestly have pictured Penta to ride the wave of momentum that he got in the early stages of the match. But no, it turns out he was unable to maintain the pressure. Well, now we have an interesting turn of events from one member of American Made. How about the Queen of the Underground? That's right, now. The undefeated killer of the Underground.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing American Made from Knoxville, Tennessee, Ivy Nile.
Nile these records and crushes. Currently in the Underground, Nile is sitting 5-0. The most wins out of anyone in IPW Underground. Looking to make it 6-0 tonight against another undefeated star. Can she ride the momentum that she's already on? Or will it come crumbling down? Because her opponent is a recent winner.
And her opponent, representing the LWO from Queens, New York, Zelina Vega.
1-0 in the Underground is Zelina Vega, but let's be honest, Nile does not care how many numbers are at the front of a person's record. It's that second number she cares most about. Eliminate the 0 that sits on that spot for as many women as possible. She has done it to several of them. Indy Hartwell, I believe, one of her last. But here we have it. Zelina, Nile. A mid-card matchup. The battle of the undefeated. Nile swinging strong to start this one off. Vega just taking some heavy shots. And she ate that full combo from Nile. Ivy. A waistlock applied here. Bringing some technical wrestling prowess into this matchup. Arguably the stronger of the two in that front. Headlock takedown. Gets to side control. Wrenching pretty heavily on the neck is Nile. In fact, more pressure exerted there. This is a strong position in this chain grappling affair. Vega is able to make it back to her feet. I think she's got a side headlock of her own here, but Nile, too strong, forces her off and lands a massive Superman punch. Nile, you've got a favor in the power game as well as the submission technical wrestling. Now, this is an MMA matchup, an IPW MMA matchup, which means weaponry's allowed. And that funny mallet comes in as there's some lucha libre out from Nile. Not something you typically see from her, but she rolls out, and that's given Vega the opportunity to strike. Sledge or mallet in hand, throwing it into the face of Nile. But Ivy, not going to feel the effect too heavily, is able to go back on the attack, and she sends Vega outside. More weapons coming into the picture. We're going less zany and more for the big hitters. The steel chair in the picture, cracked on the skull of Zelina. Vega fights out the grasp of Ivy, and that's the Dragon Sleeper. That's Ivy Niles' maneuver. Stolen by Vega, utilized against her, and now Vega putting Nile on notice, but Nile heads up top, drops the elbow to the outside. No countouts in this type of matchup, meaning Ivy can do what she likes on the outside, and that's a big shot. The head crashing into the flooring, the very minimal padded floor. It's pure concrete underneath it. Vega's, I'm surprised her head isn't busted open. That jaw in tatters. And well, it's American made this matchup. And so bring in America's favorite pastime, the football, is in play. However, not been able to be utilized here. Vega on the receiving end of some more wear down here from Ivy. The target has not been on punishment. It's been more toward wearing down certain ligaments. Nile returns to the ring, and she's got Zelina lined up. Headshots have been used. That was an attempt at a Dragon Sleeper. Vega avoids it, comes flying through with a moonsault, and now Code Red connects, plants down Nile, and she's not done yet. Single leg Boston Crab applied. Ivy's in trouble. Pulls out the rug from Vega. Staying alive in this matchup. Beautiful Northern Light suplex. Ivy's made several attempts at the big shot, but Vega has been wise to it. Ivy struggling really to find the opportunity to land that shot that she wants. Gonna charge in. Boot to the gut. Forces Vega down. And the pigskin. Not gonna be in the hands of Nile for long. Thought she was gonna just toss it. Channel her inner Tom Brady. But now, she's not focused on that. No, Vega avoids the punch. A kick to the gut. Up, over. Code Red connects. A second time for that shot. But it's not second time the charm. Vega needs something else. But she's got the steel chair in hand to tune up the band that is Nile's head. Nile avoids it, but she's caught. Arm drag onto the chair. Nile rolls out, the weapons still in the hand of Vega. The mallet connecting. The third shot not going to happen. Instead, Zelina lining it up. Hurricane Rana spiking the head of Nile into the mat. Vega, you have to feel closing in on victory. Camel clutch applied. Nile, a technical wrestling expert, able to escape. Has the back of Vega, not going to be able to utilize it. Zelina striking back. Looking to fly. Misses. Oh, no, I'm tell a lie. Barely catches Nile. And now crushing down with that mallet. The undefeated killer has suffered her first loss in IPW Underground. And it's to Zelina Vega. All I have to say is Vega countered that Dragon Sleeper attempt twice, maybe even 3 times, and that just gave her the edge. Ivy could not stop the onslaught from there. Vega, too perfect with everything that came to follow. And a 2-0 record picked up here for Zelina. That sequence there, escaped the Dragon Sleeper, hit the code red. Niall rolls back in, and it's just game to over. That mallet, too prolific of a weapon. And, well, Ivy could not overcome it. The second shot does her in.
Here is your winner, Zelina Vega!
Vega victorious here in the underground, and that is a shock to the system that for the first time I'm actually putting a 1 again in the loss column for Ivy Nile of all people. I however think that that's probably not the last time we are gonna see those 2 ladies square off against one another. 'Cause that was shocking. What's more shocking is the main event. We've got a debuting star in the underground who thinks it's not cool to be fighting down here. Let's find out what the hell is going on.
Do you know what cool is?
Carlito making his IPW Underground debut. And he spits in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
One fall, making his way to the ring, representing the Judgment Day. From San Juan, Puerto Rico, weighing in at 220 pounds, Carlito!
That was an interesting pronunciation there by announcer Mike Rome. He went Carlito. But yes, not really the focus of this match is Mike Rome's announcing. Oh no, it is Punishment. Our second MMA bout of the evening. As someone who is cool faces the ruler, the destroyer, the breaker of everything here in IPW. A man on a warpath for conquest, wanting to get to the top. He's hit his bumpy road, but tonight he rises to the occasion.
And his opponent from Lagos, Nigeria, weighing in at 273 pounds, Femi!
0-1 in the underground. Femi wants to right that ship. He goes up against Carlito, a man who we know hasn't competed in IPW yet. This is debut. Looking for victory. Is he able to achieve it? Well, as the lights fade out, Femi looks prepared. Carlito composed, as is the ruler. Let's get it on, and Oba's coming out quick. The axe to the face. Now a big boot to follow it. Femi probably looking for a knockout here against Carlito, as probably is the same for Carlito. Both really bring that cocky style. Carlito a little bit more rough around the edges. Able to land some cheap shots here, but Oba controlling, ruling the ring as expected. Does, however, get caught, and Carlito turns it into a headlock, wrenching on the position. Femi caught right now, needs to really alleviate the pressure. Does so masterfully. Takes the arm as well on the transition out. And that is smart technical wrestling prowess here by the ruler. Able to keep control of his opponent. Able to utilize pressure. And, well, force Carlito to absorb some unneeded punishment. Remember, expect explosivity out of Femi, who's looking to get some maybe right about now. Big shoulder tackle. Flattens Carlito. Now, Femi taking the action outside maybe. Hunting for a weapon, I believe. That is not something you typically expect from this kind of guy. A ladder brought into the picture. Placed outside. Carlito not going to allow Femi to utilize it to greatness just yet. The ruler. You expect a symphony of power bombs. And now a bit of power. Running power slam flattens Carlito. And this is why I said expectations are for a knockout victory for Oba Femi. He set up the ladder in an awkward position. Carlito sent running. Flattened again. The freight train that Oba Femi is, he can certainly dole out punishment. He does, however, miss that shot, giving Carlito a little bit of an edge back into the match. And Carlito, an opportunist, able to really capitalize on opponent's mistakes. That's a beautiful drop kick. One falter really leads to a cool situation. The knee just trapping the head of Femi in the mat, and that's just insult to injury. Remember, there is slightly no DQs in an MMA match here in IPW, and especially in the underground. Carlito knows this. He is going to continue to unload. Dirty shots. Twist of the dimes. Plants the head of Femi into the mat. Now I'm going to apply a variation of the camel clutch. They always call it a cravat, but that's a dirty, cheap catching maneuver. Reverses what Femi was going for, presumably one of them shoulder tackles. Comes back with a leg trip, busts open the ruler, and then hits him with a backstabber. Carlito seizing an opportunity in his debut. But the ruler's caught him. The ruler isn't taking any chances. Are we thinking TLC match here, Oba? You've got the ladder out. There's a couple of chairs at ringside. Table's in the ring now, but Carlito spikes him on the wood. The head of the ruler meets cold, hard splinters. Now, well, Carlito was in control for a second now. I thought he would continue to keep it, but now the ruler has him no. Carlito fighting out of it. And now, something a bit cool. Turning him inside out. Cravat applied. Oba. Power game. Fireman's carry. F10. Carlito almost sent flying into the table. But this might be that ending. No powerbomb. Not yet. Carlito avoids it. Now he's got the ruler lined up. And this isn't good for Oba. He's going for a flight. Vertical suplex through the goddamn table. Carlito, I thought coming into this, he was going to go dirty. Backstabber. But I wasn't expecting this amount of extremeness, this amount of control. The ruler, I thought, could do the number over Carlito, but no. Oba caught off guard. Twisted a dime, bang. Down he goes, and it was systematic destruction from Carlito. All the classics hit. He even managed to put his opponent through a table. Here's a second. Turn a dime. And while Oba did land this beautiful F10 that I thought if he got enough torque on it, it would maybe launch Carlito into the table, but no. Instead, it is Femi going through the table, the wood hitting his back for a second time, and then this. Seals the deal for Carlito.
Here is your winner, Carlito!
Victory for Carlito as, well, our victory's blocked by something. Might have been the crowd. Yes, Carlito secures victory in our main event here tonight. What a matchup that was. And well, I get to bid you all adieu. That was certainly a quick episode of IPW Underground. Who would have thought their matches would have killed as quick as they did? But yes, night is over. We get to delve deeper into the rabbit hole on Tuesday night. As well, it is prime time. And that's... ooh, I've just looked at the not real match card it's provided me. I'll have to get that double checked with our general manager, Eve Torres, as to if this is the official one. But it looks like we might be having a championship bout on the card. We'll see about that. Anywho, thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of IPW Underground. Again, a quick one at that. But you'll see me next on Tuesday for that episode of Primetime. Then Breakdown Thursday, and then on the weekend, a beautiful weekend at that, we're back for IPW Underground. Live again. And I'll see you then. Peace out.